What is up, guys? This is Prop, and I'm coming today with a small setup video, and this is different from the technique videos, but along the same lines of improving your game and your gameplay within Call of Duty as a whole, not just specifically to Modern Warfare 3. This is mainly about, like I said, your personal setup. Now, what I'm talking about is things that have come about or things that are newer and coming out more and more in the market and in the mainstream that will help you become a better player. These specific things are actual equipment that you can use in real life to help improve your gameplay. I'm not going to give you recommendations on what to buy. I'm just going to give you recommendations on things that you should be looking into if you can. Now, these things are kind of costly, so it's a kind of as needed basis or a little by little thing. But this is just going to focus on what you should get overall. I'll probably do a video later on that discusses what I use specifically or personally, but I'm not going to give you any recommendations as far as this video goes. Just a general overview of what I think you should be getting into and what will more than likely help you in improving your gameplay as a whole. Now, first thing I want to get into is what you can hear, and what I recommend that you start looking into are headsets. Usually, headsets are specifically made for you to hear better, and they actually do that. I've been using a headset personally for about 3, maybe 4 years, and I almost can't play without it. The amount that you can hear within the game that differs from a TV to an actual headset is immense, because the time between actually hearing something, like let's say from a surround sound or just your TV, to actually having it right on your ears and hearing it is really what can be a game changer. Also, the fact that most headsets, because they're on your ear, and most headsets usually are surround sound. Most of the higher end headsets, they have some form of surround sound, so you can actually hear people directionally, which is a very important issue in Call of Duty, because 9 times out of 10 you'll hear someone coming before you ever see them at all, or before they ever show up on their minimap. So that's one thing you should be looking at. Headsets, there's tons of them out there. Like I said, in the next video I will talk about what I use and maybe some recommendations, but right now, just overall, start looking into headsets. Second thing that I want to talk about is your controllers. I have wireless controllers that I use every once in a while, and that's mainly for sort of let's play style games or maybe racing games, stuff like that, sports games. But what I specifically use for Call of Duty games are actual wired controllers, and more specifically, I use SCUF controllers. The reason that I use wired controllers over wireless is a small thing called latency. Now, some of you may not know about that, some of you may, but I'm just going to give you kind of the rough and dirty of it. Latency is basically the lag between the time that the input is occurring and what the actual on-screen or the hardware is registering. So basically, there are times that when you use a wireless controller and let's say you go to shoot, and these guys got just wrecked. All 4 of these guys. I'm sorry, but when you shoot or when you do an action, it doesn't translate quick enough to you actually doing it in the game because of latency, which is basically you are doing it, but the time between when your controller reads that you press, let's say, X to reload, and the actual time that that signal is sent to the Xbox that says you reload could mean the difference between you winning or losing a gunfight or getting caught in a situation when you're unprepared. Now, those 4 guys that you saw that I kind of did that jumping knife recovery with the shotgun, that was because of the SCUF controller. And like I said, in the other video that I'm more than likely going to do, I'll discuss why that's such a good thing for me and what I really like about it. But that's one thing you should look into. I would recommend, if you're going to do play Call of Duty more and more first-person shooters, I would recommend a wired controller. Yes, you do have to deal with cables, but it does save you in the long run, in the sense that you don't have to deal with your controller ever cutting out on you mid-game, which used to happen to me a lot when I used wireless controllers. And also, you won't have to deal with latency issues that arise. Now, there is a small amount of latency, but it's almost negligible with a wired controller. With a wireless controller, you will notice a big difference in the latency. And once you switch over from using one to the other, from wireless to wired, you'll even notice a difference where your character is reacting quicker or reacting more crisply to what you're actually inputting. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is a TV/monitor. And the reason I left this for last is because this is more of a this is the furthest part of the spectrum on things that you can buy, or in the sense of what you should be looking into. The reason I say it's in the further end of the spectrum is because you need to first figure out, are you a large TV player or a large screen player or a small screen player? I personally play on a normal TV, 46-inch, standard, well, not standard definition, but high def widescreen TV. But I have a few friends that they play on a small monitor, and the reason, and you'll hear a lot of pro players, a lot of commentators or bigger name channels, they do the same. The reason is because they've gotten used to it, and they can usually they acclimate themselves to the size because they get too lost in a big screen. I am the other way. I actually I feel too cramped on a small screen. That's basically the quick and dirty of what you should be looking into for the next Call of Duty. A good headset, a good controller that's wired, and then see if you need a big screen or a small screen. That is all for me. I will see you guys online. Peace.